Hey everyone, Mano here with another Destiny 2 strategy guide. The Tribute Hall is open, and the secret bad Juju mission, The Other Side, is available to complete. I've had some requests on ways that I had beaten it solo, so today I'm going to go ahead and show you what I think is the easiest way to clear this mission solo. I'll also be giving you other tips and tricks, say for example if you want to run a different set of weapons or a different class in general. In addition to feeling good about yourself by getting this done, this will also earn you one of the secret triumphs for the Tribute Hall. This is one of the easiest missions to earn an exotic compared to 0 Hour and Whisper. There's barely any platforming. So just for fun and added challenge, I'm going to do this run without the heads-up display or HUD. If you haven't seen my less than 60-second guide on how to get bad Juju, what are you doing at this video? Go ahead and click the top right card right now if you need to get access to the mission. In addition, if you haven't started any of the Tribute Hall stuff yet, check out my video on how to glitch the Tribute Hall so you can get all the tributes without using any resources, as it's very costly. My build for this run is very simple. I'm going to be using my Hunter Arc Strider with Raiden Flux, Sleeper Simulant, but Thunderlord or any other heavy machine gun would work fine too. I'm going to be using a Recluse SMG, but if you don't have a Recluse, go ahead and use a Dragonfly equipped hand cannon to deal with the trash mobs, or another SMG also works. In addition, I'll be using a sniper and a shotgun during different sections of the mission. Nothing specific, just what I had on my character. Alright, so activate the adventure and jump into the portal. Bungie smartly put a rally flag point here, so use it. Or don't if you're looking for a little extra challenge. If you don't have a rally flag, go talk to Petrovenge in the Dreaming City. She's nice, and even though she has a knife, she will sell you rally flags if you have the right resources. As you start to push forward here, you will see a door in the distance start to open. A bunch of Taken Thrall will spawn up and start to run at you. Let them get close together and either throw a grenade, use a Firefly shot, or let them completely annihilate you. I chose the grenade method mostly. After that, you'll enter a room where a Shrieker will spawn up along with a Taken Knight. What you need to do is take out your sleeper or heavy weapon of choice and knock out that Shrieker. That will knock out the main point of contention in the room. Then I would next use your super or use a heavy machine gun or whatever you can to take out the knight as quickly as possible. After that, it's just trash mobs of taken enemies, and they're very easy to kill. Knock them out and you will be in good shape to jump down below. They will continue multiplying, so if at any point you feel like you're starting to get overwhelmed, just back up, catch your breath, and knock them out. Moving down to this next area, you will find some large Cabal statues with swords that you'll need to hop on. Make your way around them, following the arm path to the next area. As soon as you hop on to the next area, there will be a Taken Phalanx that will come and try and knock you off with his shield. So, hit him with a shotgun shot or aim at him at his toes with the Recluse. Get him dead as soon as possible. Then the rest of the enemies will spawn on the opposite side of the room. Have them come chase you down. Use a high burst damage weapon like the Sleeper or the Thunderlord machine gun or anything else like that to kill the yellow bar enemy and quickly clear all the adds. Make sure to use cover if you need to so that they don't swarm you. There is a potential for the large yellow bar enemy to actually spawn back behind you, so do be careful. After that, before we go to the next section, I'm going to switch to my sniper so I can kill some of the enemies at range. There are multiple snipers and some Taken Phalanxes that will rush you, and being able to deal with them with a sniper rifle is much easier. As soon as you hop down, knock out the enemies that you can with a sniper. Do note that the snipers will pop up Taken shields, so you might have to step back, take a second, and reload. In addition, there is a wizard at the end of the platform that is going to be throwing Thrall at you. Do take a second with your primary weapon and just clean up those trash mobs as quickly as you can. Do be careful as you push the wizard, as she will throw lots of fire at you. If you can stun her in some way by disrupting her shield, that is really a good idea. Void weapons are really strong here, and that is one of the reasons why I chose the Recluse. A Kindred Orchid or something to that measure would also be a good choice. As we open up the door, what we're going to do is hop to this ledge and literally just jump back instantly. That will spawn up the first 2 ads that are on the platform that you are going to want to be on for this section. There are lots of taken booping effects around you. I would follow this path to this platform. As soon as you reach this platform, there is going to be a shrieker off to the left-hand side. Take that out first. Next up, there will be a taken minotaur down below that will be throwing lots of fire at you. You do need to be careful and back up if needs be, but what you want to do is at range with your sniper rifle, or even a scout would be fine. You want to take out those enemies that are to the left and down below as quickly as you can. As soon as you clear up those trash mobs and those taken Vex, you can go ahead and take care of the taken minotaur. As always, look around for ammunition and then move on. We're going to follow this rock path here really easily and come up. It is a little curved, but honestly, compared to other platforming sections, this is very simple. We're going to move up to this next platform here where there will be a solar shielded taken knight that will be throwing blinding bubbles at you. I am not a huge fan of this enemy type, and especially with the fast moving effect of all the thrall, I just elect to use my super at this point. Since I'm doing this with no HUD, you may be wondering how I knew when I had my super. There is a distinct sound that pops up when you get a super, and that's what I listen to, and what I will listen to for the next section to know when I've got my super. As you jump into the next area, you will find yourself in an Ascendant version of the garden from the original Leviathan raid. Taken dogs are going to be spawning from 4 blight points throughout this area, so kill them whenever they get close. Quick note here, do not jump up onto any of the tall rocks above the dogs to try and catch your breath, because there are a number of shriekers that are immune to all weapons fire that will kill you if you stand up there. So you need to stay on the ground and kill those dogs as quickly as possible. What I do here is use the dogs as kind of a way to build up a super. You'll see that my recluse is masterworked, so I am getting lots of orbs here. I'm going to use that a little bit later on to take care of some of the different enemies. Using your super here is a great way to do it. We're going to go ahead and take care of the second blight. If at any point you think that you are going to get mauled by dogs, which is, usually every 5 to 10 seconds, go ahead and knock them out first and get your life back before hopping into one of the blights. It's not worth dying in the blight if you think you're going to die to dogs biting your ankles. Again, you can take a couple of opportunities. It usually takes 2 runs to clear every blight, but not very difficult. As soon as you kill the second blight in the room, 4 taken minotaurs that attack you with fire are going to spawn up. And I will tell you that they rarely miss. You are going to want to do something that will knock them out as quickly as possible. What I'm going to do is, after they've spawned, I'm kind of playing Ring Around the Rosie here in this center area. But what I want to do is get a number of them together so I don't waste my super. I want to use as much of my super as possible to knock these taken minotaurs out, because like I said, they are very, very dangerous and have knocked out many people on their run because they usually don't show up on their radar. Now, since I'm not using my HUD, obviously I can't see them. So what I would look for is taken distortions and listen for the sounds if you're using the sound effects throughout the game. By the way, this probably has one of my favorite soundtracks of any mission. This is a great soundtrack, especially in the ending part of this mission. Go on to the 3rd and 4th blight, again trying to clean up all the dogs as they come at you. Don't jump up on any of the rocks. Collect whatever ammunition you can. And you can see here I'm looking for orbs to pick up so I can use them for later on. As you come through to the final blights, you will notice that you get fewer and fewer dogs. Again, the dogs spawn up from each of the blight points, so once you knock out the 4 blights, no other dogs will spawn right away. They might spawn in right at the tail end, but use them to get your super as quickly as possible. As soon as the 4 blights are gone, there will be a giant taken minotaur, reminiscent of the Shattered Throne minotaur, but it says it's from the Hellmouth, which is kind of interesting leading into Shadowkeep. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically hide behind cover and use our high burst damage weapons. What we're going to do is move around, and you will see that there are a number of Taken wizards that also spawn up here. You're going to want to be careful because they will spawn up Taken dogs, and you want to keep your eyes out for them, especially when you're fighting the Minotaur. If you can use your super, that's even better, but you do need to be careful because the Taken ogre will push you into the walls, just like if you remember Shattered Throne. They will push you back, and he will not stop firing. So you want to nuke that ogre as quickly as possible. That is your main threat, followed by the wizards. As soon as that's done, you're going to go ahead and pick up whatever ammunition you can. You'll hear the shriekers up above you explode, and you'll be ready to go on to the next part of the mission, the very last section. Again, I'm looking around for ammunition. You're going to want to have as much as possible because there are a lot of trash mobs in this next section. Look for the area where Toland was sitting in front of, it looks like a giant arc. Once the wizard is dead and once all the enemies are dead, you will be able to move on and not have to worry about any of the shriekers. I'm going to save my heavy ammunition as well as my sniper at this point because I do not want to waste ammunition. The door will open and we're going to go on to the next section. Again, there's some very, very light platforming here. I have seen a couple people slip at this part because the rocks are a little jagged here. What you're going to do is head off to that area where there are two giant Callus statues off in the distance, looking like they're holding something up in the air, but we don't know what that is. Again, be careful on the rocks as you make your way up. They are a little jagged. Just make sure you get enough momentum so that you don't die. Come up here to this final spot here. Toland will say a couple of extra words, and our first objective is to knock out the snipers. You're going to go ahead and knock out the first sniper on the left-hand side, and what you want to do is as quickly as possible and as safely as possible, you want to head up to where the floating skull is. I would call that the bad Juju skull. The reason you want to move up as quickly as possible is twofold. There are a lot of Cabal enemies that will actually try and push you off the edge with their shields or their flamethrowers. You want to get away from them as quickly as possible. Now, the Taken and the Cabal are actually fighting each other. Now, what you do have to be careful of is the second reason why you want to get up here. If you fall too far down, back, behind, and below all the staircases, there are going to be a number of shriekers that will attack you, and there is nothing you can do. Once they are activated, they will kill you. It is very difficult to find cover once they're activated, so keep moving, stay above your enemies as much as possible, and start to wipe them out. There will be a couple of Cabal gladiators that will try and slice you with their knives. Again, keep your distance. If you've got your sniper on still, that's a really good idea to have. You can knock them out, save some ammunition. You are going to want to have a lot of primary ammunition for this next part. You don't want to use heavy ammunition or your super on these trash mobs. You want to save that primarily for the boss. I have my super now. I walked over that orb and it didn't get it, and I listened for the sound cue. Again, at this part, most people would usually use their super, but what I'm going to do here is try and gather them up as much as possible and throw grenades. Sentinel Titan is really good here if you're using Code of the Commander because you can use the grenade abilities and the melee abilities and the detonators that come with the Code of the Commander class to actually make a lot of those enemies explode. Now, we haven't moved on to the next section because I haven't killed the final Might of Riven that is down below fighting the Cabal Minotaur. If you need to catch your breath, just kill all the enemies but that one. That's a good way to kind of make the part of the mission go a little bit longer so you can catch your breath, maybe get your ammunition a little bit more, and you'll be set to go. Once those enemies are dead, there will be a ton, and I do mean a ton, of small Taken enemies that will come at you. If you haven't wiped out all the Cabal yet, they will start to bum rush you at this part if you've taken out all of the Taken. At this point, what I'm going to do is back up. Again, I'm just going to take a second, knock out some guys with the shields because I don't want to deal with them, and they're annoying. I'm going to go ahead and knock them out. Again, they're going to rush you, so just be ready to go. Be ready to backpedal a little bit. But use these back rooms here and these different columns to kind of create some distance between you and the enemies. It's very simple and very easy to stay safe at this point. Again, since I'm not using a HUD, I'm basically just wanting to double check my corners every single time I round an area so I don't die. As soon as all those Cabal enemies are done, here are the giant waves of Thrall that I was talking about before. Again, get whatever ammunition you can, and again, I'm running around a little bit to try and gather them up. So I'm going to go ahead and gather them at this section, throw a grenade, and this will also make it easier for me to use my Recluse. If you've got a Dragonfly hand cannon that's really high powered, like Trust, Waking Vigil, Nation of Beasts, this is a really good opportunity to use it. If you're using an SMG, I would tap the trigger lightly just to knock one or two of the enemies out. If you just spray constantly, it's going to ruin how you aim with the weapon, but you'll also fly through all your ammunition. So just tap the trigger lightly and knock out all the final enemies. If you can, use your sniper, or if you've got a shotgun, use that to the best of your ability. Collect whatever ammunition you can again, and give it a second, because the computer will actually spawn in the last wave once the Thrall are gone. If you can't see them on the radar because you're doing no HUD, then just look around for them. They usually like to hang around the staircase. Alright, we're at the point with the final boss. What I'm going to do is snipe the final boss with as much of my heavy ammunition as possible. And again, at this point, there will be a number of Taken Thrall that will rush you, along with some Taken Phalanxes that will try and knock you off with their shield. Again, I'm going to go ahead and use these back rooms for cover, gather them up, knock out the big waves of adds, get my life back, give you some ammunition. You can see there that I used that corner, checked around it, used my dodge, and moved on. Continue to move around and stay on the move so that you don't get knocked off or killed by anything. There will be a wizard that will spawn in. I believe actually 2 wizards that will spawn in, so you do need to keep your eyes open for them. My main primary goal is to do as much damage to the boss as possible. If you see one of those void balls come at you, go ahead and knock them out. What I'm doing here is I'm popping my Raiden Flux and my Arc Strider to start synapse junctions so I can knock out the boss. It's not very difficult at this point because I can just spam the boss with my super as soon as he is dead. All the enemies will basically freeze in place except for maybe 1 or 2 that spawned in late. And go ahead and find cover, knock out whatever enemies are still shooting at you, because the rest of them will actually despawn. As soon as that's done, you'll get a voice prompt that says claim what has been lost, and you can go ahead and move through the portal. It might take you a couple of tries, but if you kill the boss, you will get the achievement right away. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial video. Again, I think it's pretty easy to get this completed. In addition, I'm going to leave the tail end of my PC run where I did it on a Titan with a Code of the Commander as well to leave you with, just to kind of show you what I did for that. If you did like something in this video, a positive rating is greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for any new Destiny 2 content. As always, if you're looking for a great community or something just fun to watch, come over to twitch.tv/manodester777 and join us. I do lots of raid help, 0-hour help, Whisper the Worm, and all those other things. We also have a Discord where we are building a great community as we prepare for Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. That link will be in the description box below. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're having any issues with this. Good hunting, Guardians, and I'll see you next time in the universe of Destiny.